Hey, so glad you could join me today for PJ's Storytime. I have another great tale I'd like to share with you. Once upon a time, there lived a sweet little girl who was loved by everyone who knew her. Her grandmother, who lived up in the country, was so fond of her that she was always giving her presents. On her last birthday, she sent her a lovely warm red cape with a hood and red velvet. The child was so pleased with it that she would wear nothing else, and soon everyone began calling her Little Red Riding Hood. One day her mother said, "You must go to see your grandmother today. I have packed a little basket with custards and jelly which you can take to her, for she has not been very well lately." So Little Red Riding Hood set out at once to see her grandmother. When she had passed through the woods that lay between her and the village and the place where her grandmother lived, the little girl met a great big wolf. The wolf was very polite and said, "Good day. Where are you going so early in the morning?" Little Red Riding Hood did not know what a wicked animal he was, so she replied that she was going to see her grandmother, who was sick. "What are you carrying in your basket?" inquired the curious animal. "Oh, jelly and custards," answered the little girl. "You see, grandmother lives all alone and has no one to make her good things." "Does she live far from here?" asked the wolf. "Oh, yes," answered the child. "It's the first house after you pass that hill over yonder. You can't miss it, for the cottage stands under 3 great oak trees. I should think you would take your grandmother some flowers if she is sick. There are such pretty ones all around here," said the crafty old wolf. "Why, I hadn't thought about that," said the little girl, and she began to gather wildflowers here and there. In the meantime, the wolf slipped away and ran as fast as he could to the old woman's house. He knocked at the door. Tap, tap. "Who is there?" asked the feeble voice. "Your grandchild, Little Red Riding Hood," replied the wolf, imitating the child's voice. "I have brought you some custards and jelly that Mother just made." "Oh, lift the latch and come in," cried the grandmother. "I am too weak to get up." So the crafty wolf lifted the latch, and the door flew open. Then the wicked animal bounded over to the bed and gobbled up the old lady before she could utter a scream for help. He then shut the door, put on one of grandmother's nightcaps, and jumped into bed to wait for Little Red Riding Hood. It was not long before she tapped at the door, and the wolf cried out, "Who's there?" "How funny grandmother's voice sounds," thought the little girl, "but I suppose she is hoarse from a cold." Overcoming her fear, she called out who it was, and the wolf said, "Lift the latch and come in, my dear." Little Red Riding Hood entered and went over to the bed, where the wolf lay, almost entirely covered with the bedclothes. "Why, grandmother, what great ears you have!" exclaimed the child. "The better to hear you with," answered the wolf. "And what big eyes you have!" "The better to see you with, my dear." "And grandmother, what great teeth you have!" "The better to eat you with," cried the wicked wolf, and he threw back the bed covers and made ready to spring at Little Red Riding Hood. But she screamed so loud that a hunter who happened to be passing the house heard her and came rushing in. He shot the wolf straight through the heart and saved the dear little girl from the fate that had befallen her poor grandmother. The end.